Take it over, Trace.
Go to game.
Nailed it, guys. Nailed it. MIBR taking on Grayhound. Elimination on the line. Let's get into this one, Hugo. It's going to be a bit of a potential banger, I think.
Oh, it's going to be potentially great, Harry.
Potentially great.
It's scary, though. Someone's going home. Who's it going to be? Today we find out. Grayhound fast up mid on this pistol round. They just go right through the short side smoke. Henny's tucked down in Graveyard right now, pokes his head up. They're trying to chase him down. He's got Julies to cover from above. The bomb can't get planted. They need these kills. And MIBR are out on islands right now, but submerge this turtle. Henny still somehow hiding out in the middle of the open, and they just can't chase him down. If he buys time here, his team can move right in, and there it is. Stuck in the bomb side of Grayhound. Vexite trying to leave Liaz alone. He will fight for one, but they're going to run him down. They've got the numbers, they've got the manpower, still kills coming in. Liaz changed position, they've got to find him.
These were the sorts of rounds he was meant to win you, but run down by Breno, and so Liaz falls. It's MIBR with a pistol round on the board to open this one up. This is now a chance for these guys to kind of hit the ground running here, right? Start to amass a nice little bank of rounds early and look to leap themselves ahead, Hugo.
Yeah, I really like what Bit was talking about with James coming into this game as well. It's like it's a battle of the mental. Like both the teams are, you know, some of the better teams in their region. MIBR certainly get more opportunity in Europe as well, or even just the fact that they can play in North America is more, you know, opportunity than Grayhound have stuck over on their big island over there. But you know, both these teams know this is a must-win game. They're both coming in confident. They're both coming in seeing themselves as the victors. It's not like you're up against an NIP where you kind of know you're going to get wrecked and you're happy no matter what you get. The pressure is on for both these squads if they want to enter the group stage. And even then, it's not a one-win road. They've got to fight their way through Fnatic as well. Certainly not an easy team to trifle with. Grayhound, they forced up with the bomb plant. They've got a pretty decent buy here. 3 Galils lining up a util, but MIBR are fighting for middle. Insani, latest addition to this MIBR squad, previously from the academy side for over 18 months. And at his first LAN tournament in his goddamn Katowice, what can he do? Bombs up mid, he's spraying away. Help from behind the smoke, they push through. Turtle fights from short side, and it's a bit of a massacre in middle. That would have been everything to find that USP kill, but he couldn't escape, and it's given Grayhound away.
Yeah, giving them a route in, certainly. There is still this library player, though, able to get involved. That flash, oh, it's good. It's going to get him off the angle. The molly to follow up, and suddenly they've got a route into the site. Chance at the bomb plant here for Ins and Sico. Now, there is the apartments wrap on the cards. Exit moving in with this MP9, and with both players low, he could be the guy in this round to lay it all to rest. Is he accounted for? That's the big question. Creeping in from Moto in the meantime. They're trying to split this, and they're going to clear out Sico. It falls to a 1v1. A similar looking round to how this game started. So out with the swing, and Ins. 3 kills found, the hat trick, as Grayhound steal away the force nice and early. MIBR going to be forcing back up into this one now, and the Force by Wars, they arrive from the get-go.
Grayhound were barely favored in any of that round, right? They're fighting 3-on-3 middle. They somehow trade out perfect when they shouldn't have. Turtle, you know, I felt like that USP kill was his. But then even in a 2v2, yeah, they have post-plants, it's Inferno, but they're both so low. And Ins clutches is out. That's sick. It's what we need for Grayhound. We need individuals to show up today. That was not the case yesterday, right? We had no one to really rely on except Alistair on Nuke against Spirit. He had some nice AWP rounds, but yeah, even Liaz, the big boy of this team, the experienced player, we need him performing. Vexite, dead to nades down Banana. Ins will respond. But X is going to get smoked down and can try and retreat out of this position, avoiding spam while he does it. CZ, don't see this very often. That's a dig from long side, my goodness. Must have been a quick shot for Insani. Liaz, Mac-10, not really the range game. But looking for a site pick nonetheless. They need it. They need anything they can get because the reforce back in for MIBR is causing a lot of problems. Nice catch from Liaz. He knows there's a player back at long side, but does he know about the man in the site? It might not matter. There's another site in question for Grayhound, and Ins is walking right into it.
Yeah, this is big. Bomb on his back, and a chance to move into the empty side of the map here. Liaz still over in top middle, a little ways away from this play, right? So Util comes out over towards this B side of the map. That's lobbed in with exit spamming from CT. That might make Grayhound start to have some second thoughts on this one.
They're going B. They're just going to wait for Liaz to get this flank on. They've got time for this.
All the way up through long. But he won't commit. The bomb's actually coming back down Banana into the A-Rap. They've started to read this one, with that spam through the smoke down towards CT. They know that these rotates, there wasn't anyone in the sight. Still the pit player, Henny, able to get involved. Liaz dead, and Inns, even though he makes it into the site, there isn't time to plant the bomb. MIBR with the response, and time gets the better of Grayhound there.
They just took way long to make up their mind there. I would have loved to see Liaz flank spawn. Even though they had the right read on numbers, they knew that they'd probably pulled 2 players over in that 3v3. You know, even just to call Liaz through CT would have been a lot safer, or speed up that decision. Insat and Banana for so long, it felt like, before he started running the rotate. They had no room for anything to go wrong there. And Henny, 1 kill at the right time, does it all. Grayhound get out with a gun, but they're not going to be happy about that round. Robbed away.
Now that one hurts even more because, like, you know you kind of had the winning formula right there, right? And this was also your chance to really look to break ahead in this game early after winning the 4-spy round. So it's not just about what you gave up in a very winnable spot there. It's also kind of what you've lost in the long run, right? Now you've just got this hero AK over on Inns, who's boosted up in middle, given a lovely angle over this top smoke.
They've got to set him up for success, right? They've got to put him in for these entries because they don't even have upgraded pistols behind it. 1 Deagle is not enough. He will silent drop, but it's really on this kill. The only armored player needs the long pick.
They're trying to set him up nicely, right? They're trying to kind of bait and switch around the AK. Having him play the trade game. Vexite makes a move, gets involved. The only downside is that was the bomb cut loose over towards long, and these pistols are getting churned up. That was the rifle removed. And even though Sico's got it with no armor behind it, it's a nice easy one for Turtle. MIBR, they don't break a sweat there. 4 alive up against the pistols and that hero AK. And so Grayhound now just gonna have to stew in it, really. You know, they didn't invest around that hero gun, but they don't have the money to bring guns out once again. So MIBR, this is quite the gift. You know, this is a nice little birth into the lead to open up this game.
Yeah. Especially considering the 4-spy win for Grayhound. Could be a very different situation. Instead, 4 Glocks, and MIBR get to farm just that little bit more room. This round for MIBR is all about keeping the money cool, keeping as many alive as they can. And they shouldn't have too much of an issue, you'd like to think. Staying cognizant that Inns could be out behind the logs, thinked through the wood. And again, that's just the 1 Deagle in the round. A safer position on B after the boost. There will be no smoke there, though, if Grayhound are to hit this site.
Yeah, it kind of, this is a bit of a weird way for a game to start. It kind of felt like in that last one, Grayhound really hinged on the idea that they were going to get the bomb plant, right? That's kind of what they lent into. Now, with just pistols running it into B, will they be able to get past this little crossfire that's established? It's not gone brilliantly, but luckily enough, the rotate of Insani is here to keep things under wraps. Couple of kills out of these pistols. It's a good bit of damage done for Grayhound in a round that they didn't really have a lot to go off of. MIBR will still secure it, but this is where the going gets tough.
Almost very ugly there, but they will hold on. And I'm very interested by this this addition for MIBR, this young insani player, because this is the next generation of Brazilian talent, one of the many. We're seeing the rise in the last couple of years. Even Drop to Furia is a great example with their academy team, reaping rewards, getting them deep into major runs. And now we have MIBR trying to make the same change as well. So first LAN event, and it's a tier 1 LAN. It's a trial by fire. Alistair's got his orb. Turtle's up in the apartments. Liaz is alone here. Sico's in second mid. He can set him up with utils. And Molly behind Turtle, and he's actually just going to take that chance to run away, knowing that Grayhound are after the apartments. Doesn't need to force the fight. Grayhound will creep in instead. They've got this real estate. They've got most of Banana, but this is a bait and switch ready at top B. So Vexite can't move on his own. Not yet. He needs supporting flashes. They won't trifle with the B site instead. Setting up more long smokes, trying to take brackets. Two players on the short side ready to receive for MIBR.
Yeah, the util cycling in top mid here from MIBR is nice, right? Just to kind of keep the pace out of Grayhound. Not able to live up to their namesake just yet as they get out into top mid. Quite soon they're going to look to hit the go button here. There's no one even contesting Banana. This is the all-in A approach. Util going over now. This full exec starting to take form, starting to come together, and that is a lovely way for it to have opened for Grayhound. But now they've got to go one step further. They've got to get into this site, and that is easier said than done. Alistair, we often say that AWPing on the T side, it's a very tricky business. He's got to show up now. A chance in the post plant with the AWP. Inns alleviates a lot of pressure by ridding the apartments of Turtle, and he takes it one step further. It's AWP v AWP. Goliath of Brazilian AWPing on one side in Henny, and Alistair, the Aussie AWP wonder child, on the other side.
He knows. Alistair's played this perfectly. He checked long deep. He sees that Henny's wrapping. He knows he has to be coming from short side. He's still cognizant of long right now. Needs to wake up, and he's hit the dig. Both pistols, and forget the AWP. It's Alistair to find that round. For a second, I thought he was doubting himself, checking back long. But the timing works perfectly. And yeah, AWPing is not fun on Inferno, but as soon as you get into those post plants, that's where you want to be. Didn't need it. I gotta say, Inns has had his...
He's bringing out the 5K secondary now,
exactly.
right?
Inns has had his breakfast cereal today, man. He's had his eggs in the morning. This guy's hitting shots right now.
Yeah, you know, I know from speaking to Grayhound day one, a few of them were really feeling the jet lag, right?
Yeah,
and fair enough, it's like a 30-hour travel to find your way over here. But you know, that does kind of give them this ability to improve the longer they stick around, the longer the tournament goes on. That is what makes a potential day 2 elimination in the play-ins so threatening, right? And also this idea that maybe we never see them reach their potential. Still, if they're feeling it today, if they're a little more switched on, a little more in tune, this has got some legs on it.
Another nice round from Insani though, like on the A side. Anchor got away with 2 kills before they ran up short side. His teammate kind of hung him out to dry by letting them up. Oh, wins again. Smoke shots galore. 2 more up middle as MIBR, not on an eco, on a 4x no less, chase down mid. They pay the price, and the price is their life, and maybe even the round. If Sico gets this, it's as good as done. He's seen that play go into library, and at least he now knows that MIBR are making a gamble. He can just call the whole unit into A, get the plant round done, bish, bash, bosh. MIBR go for the gamble, stack on B, and now to save, although they don't know. If Grayhound really want to be weird here, they can late exec into B and try and chase down these guns. The question is, would they rather restore their own economy? Because they don't have much to work with in the future.
Yeah, dude, that's kind of the shame of it, right? I think that in a world where Grayhound even had like one more bout of money in their bank accounts, they would defo be hunting this. As you say, with all the util, they could literally exec into B to farm up these players. But I don't think the risk outweighs the reward right now. They will just, or wait, maybe it's that way around.
Yeah.
Don't think about it too hard. Grayhound up onto a 3rd, and they will just elect to build up their own money here, right? Kind of building a bit of a foundation for this T side to be built upon. For MIBR, back to the drawing board is that one, and the mid-aggression, trying to switch the pace up, trying to vary it a little bit in a round where they were slightly more limited. It doesn't pan out.
Already all the signs of a competitive series here, though, and that's kind of what we wanted, right? Like, we can expect those opening matchups to be pretty lopsided when you have some, you know, Tier 1, Tier 2 EU teams taking on other regions. That was very much the case on the B stream, at least, right? We had some stomps. IHC against Cloud9, Grayhound against Spirit. MIBR, actually one of the more surprising teams in putting up quite a good fight against NIP. Yes, with a stand-in. And Config did underperform yesterday, but at the same time, still a 12-round game for MIBR, something to be happy about. Wow, look at that boost. Kind of crazy middle. Maybe that's what they were trying to do last round as the smoke shots came through. And they still hit it again. Alistair, Inns asked for the AWP, and he goes, let me just fire one shot. Hits Breno through the smoke, and swaps out. You'll never know if you never try. And now Grayhound, they're just going to go straight into the A site.
Yeah, Henny from Graveyard. And the pistol, he was able to kind of overstay his welcome here. Gonna have to do all that and more with one of these hero guns, and it's already knocked out. No love for Henny in this round.
Inns needs to get away. I think hanging around in alt mid here is a scary premise, because you're going to give them the AWP, and that's exactly what's happened. No one even close to grab it. It might tempt Insani back into the site, try and give this a go. He's got a kit. Might be feeling a little rambunctious.
Surely not, right?
For kills.
Surely at your first land, you don't look at Katowice in the play, you don't look to go for this sort of play. That would be incredibly bold.
He's locking down the area. He just wants his teammate to get the AWP.
Grab that AWP.
Inns had the chance to go apartments, and even though the bomb would have got him eventually, it just meant he could have exited with his team. So that's a bit of a shame to see that AWP given over, but it can be rebought from Grayhound. However, funding their opponents, never ideal. MIBR already showing tendencies to really want to start rounds with plans. And on CT side Inferno, we're seeing the danger of that, right? It's fine to take banana, it's fine to be aggressive in apartments, but doing these boosts in middle right now, they keep getting caught out. It's not working for them. And now that Grayhound have had 2 rounds where they've gotten mid picks through smokes, unlucky, they're not going to stop spamming that mid-smoke. So MIBR now need to change the game. And I will say their first gun round, where they ran really nice util defense on that A site, where they were trading nades nicely, that was clean. So I'd like to see them go back to that. Try and be less proactive in the early round. And this seems to be the case. Util coming in, AWP on the A side. And Grayhound, a change, battling for banana this time. Oh, that's more like it. Tasty your own medicine.
Yeah, that's a nice feeling, right? Having it go back the other way, finally.
Don't shoot your teammate. Question is, what do Grayhound do in a round like this? It's pretty standard to just want to exec B. And in fact, they've only got 2 opponents here right now. It's a perfect time. Keeping some pressure on that A site, so MIBR dump their util and maybe get a little bit panicky. But they've got the lineups, man. Throwing in a mid-smoke back from the site. This is a perfect time to just group B for Grayhound, and they know it. Bomb's coming back, but Liaz... Oh, sorry. Yeah, Liaz might be needed to join the squad eventually. They don't have the manpower for things to go wrong on B, but the smokes are about to come in.
Yeah. Here's this little exec ready to take form. Oh, and MIBR, they've just started to pull a third player over, rather. Good timing on that flash as well into the pool to slow down this take. It's whittled that much more time off, but getting off the boost now, giving over sight. They're going to try and play it with the molly, disrupting the plant. They've done such a good job of delaying this play, delaying that bomb plant. It's finally looking to come through, but denied by Insani, and with Liaz left in this one, there isn't time. Out and dead to Henny back in spawn. That is a lovely B hold for MIBR. Just every step of the way, throwing in a little bit of trickery with their utility to slow that one down, and they manipulated the plant spot so that it was open to Insani. Everything there was kind of by design, right? That was a very, very put together B hold.
Yeah, and just it shows a few seconds can make all the difference at this level, right? Not just the fact that Grayhound throw that A util in, but then it maybe takes 15 seconds to get the B nade in, and by that point MIBR have already read it. It's too quiet off of this A exec. They're going to go B. My God, now they're getting aggressive, running right down banana in front of the molly. Exit eating spam damage. Henny with his AWP even gets tagged as well through that. So it doesn't come without a cost for MIBR, but they keep all 5 alive. Starting 3B, taking banana, and then leaving just the AWP. A very standard setup. Very Brazilian setup, even. going to allow MIBR to fight for middle if they want. Beck and Grayhound in. Flash. It doesn't blind Henny in the slightest. It's going to molly just to try and keep this site alive. But MIBR, with Insani looked into a wall, they really want to fight for this mid area. Grayhound have been consistently smoking long, so the choice is up to Breno. Does he come through, or does he just spam and set up his team?
Turning from the flash, this crossfire over in top mid, it's a very tricky one to get past, and you wanted your answer. Does he try and support, or does he just spam? He comes through that long smoke, fighting for this mid control. The top mid setup, it all culminates in something very ugly for Grayhound, but very beautiful for MIBR.
And even though we've seen the downside of it, with MIBR coming in with game plans to rounds, despite being on CT and going for those boosts in mid that did let them down in back-to-back rounds, like I'm loving that call out of the gate. They know they can win Banana. It's what Grayhound went for in the previous gun round, and it ended with the BXX. With them knocking Grayhound out of Banana instantly and leaving the AWP there, they can just go and fight for middle. They've got the manpower for it. That's a lovely call. Grayhound kind of playing into MIBR's hands. Hook, line, and sinker. That's a big trout. Or is it a turtle? I wouldn't know.
I'd like to think you could tell the difference.
Yeah,
one's
maybe.
a fish, and the other is
Dinosaur.
not a fish. Yeah.
We got a good game, Harry. I think me and you are both excited for Anubis. It's map 2 of the series. It's the pick.
I always love watching it, man. It still is like that very early, oh, it's so new, it's so fresh.
It yet.
Not together, actually. That's a good point.
Say not together. Wait, have you casted it?
I've casted
yeah.
it, yeah.
My God, yeah, you did it. Yeah. Well, thanks for the invite.
Well, get better. That's a James Banks quote, yeah. Oh. All right, it's just pistols here for Grayhound. A Deagle, a P250, and another Deagle. Actually, there's two of them.
And then a flash?
And then a flash, and then two Glocks, in case you're wondering. That's the kind of play-by-play of the exact buy that's on the cards right now from Grayhound. What that means is they don't have a lot of options here. It's just got to be a kind of like waterfall play, right, with this one flashbang. And currently, the flash is going over towards long. Going to try and take on Henny. Easier said than done. And so that one bit of util falls to the sidelines, never to be thrown out in the round. The rest of the pistols are going to get farmed up here. And it's a nice, clean one for MIBR. I like that flick from Henny. Nice and speedy on it, right? He is a very kind of speedy AWP player. Hot with the flicks.
I even just like the variety of setups we've seen from MIBR. They know they're against a very low buy. They don't fight for middle. They don't fight for apps. They don't give any ways for pistols to get picks. And they play double Archside, or rather double Library Moto, and then they play Pit. So they're just not giving any opening kills away unless Grayhound hits some miraculous pre-fired Deeg. They are left at the range game. Not armed for it, are they?
Yeah, funnily enough, I think where Grayhound sometimes fall down is in their ability to go out and seek that first engagement, right? And actually kind of have that first fight go their way. And that's why when we had MIBR trying their hand at a lot of these early fights, a lot of these early engagements, it felt like that was kind of giving Grayhound a way in, right? It meant that they could hold a nice established default, wait for the aggression to come through. And so that first fight was being dictated by MIBR. But now they've kind of taken a bit of a step back, right? They've said, no, Grayhound, you've got to be the ones to suss out how you want to take that first engagement. And so it's just, moved the kind of ball to another court in that sense. Is that the saying?
Your serve.
I don't know, dude. I don't know sayings.
Football, innit? Breno. He's playing bloody bowling. Sending those balls down range. Knocking over those pins in Banana. Bowling would be funnier if you have multiple, bowling balls, but Exit, he only needs one. Blows Vexside out of the round, and Inns even gets picked by Henny on short as well. That's the big hitter right now, running through the smoke. Okay. Getting crazy with it. They've dropped the bomb. They've got T-mid, and yeah, Grayhound, you can have the A site if you want, but you're not going to be able to do anything with it. Liaz needed that kill, and now there's no hope.
Just look at the positions in this round. It's so weird. Sico's gone past them in long through the smoke, and they don't know. Now, he's still 1v5, right? So, that's one kill, sure. It's a nice little backstab onto Insani, but probably not going to take it any further than this. with bomb dropped all the way down at ramp. The one thing he's got going his way is that like MIBR kept a lot of players over towards A, and so they're all paranoid. Oh, but he's not going to spot the boiler, man. And so there's the close. MIBR, another clean round, and these have really started to rack up fast. You know, there was a point in time in this game, back when we were at 4-4, it kind of had a bit of a back and forth nature in it in terms of streaks of rounds back and forth. But now MIBR, having gone on a tear over these last couple, keeping a lot of them clean, they've established their money in a very, very keen way. And that's going to make it super hard for Grayhound to break through and have some sort of resurgence towards the end of this half. It's going to be very grindy for Grayhound. And even then, before we get to that point, oh, that nade damage.
There's no bomb.
Just a sea of red.
They don't even have the bomb. Even if they get these kills, Harry, they do not have the bomb. Grayhound have to go back, but they're still moving forward. They have the sight. Turtle gets a kill through the smoke, and Insani dies. He's just trying to help out his team. Henny's stuck on the top, dropping off. The Tech Knight's chasing him down, and they may hit him, but Liaz is still standing, still dropping in. 2 kills, AK, and maybe an AWP to grab. The bomb's making its way through apartments, and Inns even has rotation cut off. He should die, but this should be a clutch too far for Exit. The captain has to step up now in the 1v3.
Does he want to attempt it?
He's got to.
A super wild round, and Exit's now expected to tame this beast. AWP set up, down towards pit on Liaz. Spamming through the smoke. This smoke spam is really what helped get Grayhound on the board. It could close this round, but Exit has dodged these shots. Up into the site now. They don't know about him yet. About to get spotted, and there's that swing from Vexite. A lovely kind of buddy play between the site and pit player. And even if Vexite faltered, Alistair was wrapping long at that exact moment. So they had a lot of contingency plans in place for if that one got out of hand.
Very well commed for Grayhound, right? It's awkward when you get in a site like that and you all stop in your positions, and you know that MIBR are also in the site with you. Like, I can hear them in the walls. They've got to come very cleanly to set Liaz up for that round, and he does. He does right by his team, and this is the guy, Harry. This is the guy that we know, we love, and we need today if Grayhound were gonna avoid elimination. I'll get to that later, because right now we have more banana aggression and double up for Breno. Costs him his teammate life, but wins the entire banana fight and locks Alistair out. Grayhound, they aren't going to wait for long. They know they've got a 2-2 set up against them, but Henny wide on the long side with no flash to affect him.
Yeah. Dude, I tell you what, like, Henny loves this. He loves that you keep giving him fights without flashing him off of these angles, right? It is an AWPer's paradise at times on the CT side, and Henny is one of these AWP players who can just take charge of a game. If you're not going to make life difficult for him, he's going to make life very difficult for you.
I mean, the only way back in is giving Alistair a chance here. And yes, MIBR, I've really liked the CT side. They've just made the right calls at the right times. And if they didn't go for those boost rounds on mid, I think this would be a very dominant game indeed. Grayhound have given themselves a way back in with an eco win, but now they've got to win 2 2-on-2s if they want to end this round the right way. Exit has cover. He'll swing on the contact of Breno on the boost. There is a molly, but they want a contact right now. There's a smoke CT. Liaz can fight this boost. He can't get the kill, though. There's the re-swing, and Alistair's already saving. It's a done deal. It relied on that one man. And let's talk about that man, right? Because on the HLTV highlighted players coming into this game, it was Liaz versus Henny. These are the two, mantelpiece players for the rosters. These are the two experienced players. Both of them in their careers having played for 10 orgs across the last 6 years or so. Liaz was brought into this team as a firepower piece. The guy who remained inside of NA during the whole pandemic, who had a lot more experience, who had some high highs as well. But when he first joined this team under Renegades last year at Katowice play-in, he had a great BO1 opener and then just fell off in the BO3, and they got eliminated in 2 games to Entropic. So it's someone we can't afford to have go cold and quiet today for Grayhound. Not if they want to do their region right.
Yeah, you know, coming into this event, me and you even had a discussion about this exact same thing, right? About how we like Bill Liaz as this experience piece within the team, right? But how that experience is almost like individualistic for his nature, right? Like with how he kind of is as a player, when we reference it, it's like you hope that means he's going to have a very cool head in high pressure situations, right? And his individual performance will always be there. It's not so much like a captain role, right? Where that's going to transfer across the rest of the team, but he'll be responsible for himself. And so you're dead on, right? You really can't afford to have him go quiet. Alistair creeping up in a top middle, going to face off against Henny. No flash, but Alistair don't care. Dead after the first. There's that trade for Insani, and now they're going to look to fall back, having a reposition, leave the short side. Re-aggression in the meantime over towards B, but this could uproot the round. MIBR, they might have just given Grayhound a way in.
Still a second player here behind the smoke, so Exit doesn't have to commit. He can multi-kill to win this round. Do Grayhound give Ins time, or is he just here to kill rotations? It doesn't seem like they want to wait on him. They want to try and take this fight into the site. A 3-on-1. Exit up, over, and down to Sico's AWP. That's the kill that might win the round there for Grayhound. And Ins ready to catch these rotations if they come through the mid-choke point. He'll see, he'll hear, and he'll deal with them. Looking for a 6th-round half. It's not bad for Grayhound at the end of the day, but MIBR definitely look ready to compete in this series for elimination. Very much like watching Insani today. And we're only 15 rounds in. Now Turtle's got to come out of his shell with a clutch. But Grayhound have brought the hammers.
They're out with a swing, but there's the double peek, and Pinsard dealt with. It's a 6th-round half for Grayhound. MIBR do hold the lead. The Grayhound have got to step it up on the CT side of their map pick.
catastrophic Katowice for one of these two squads as we face elimination on just day 2 of the play. And the group stage will be far away from either of these rosters, as even the winner has to go on and take down Fnatic later on tomorrow. Pressure is on, and on Grayhound's pick, MIBR are bringing a punch, but this time it's Grayhound sending it down mid for their pistol round. MIBR are ready.
Yeah, quite a way to open, right? Trying to set a bit of a precedent here, but they end up feeding the beast. MIBR with 3 kills in an instant. That's going to tee them up here to run riot in the pistol. Really, you would struggle to set a foot wrong in this spot. Inns with a bit of aggro, that trade just a second too late. Inns might look to recommit to this fight. Vexite's now moved in. If you're MIBR, you've seen both players, but they're making this interesting.
See ya.
Vexite is the kind of young Aussie hero that's been talked about for a long time within their ranks. Everyone's had good things to say about this guy being the real deal. If there ever was a time to show it, it's now in what was a 2v5.
Yeah, they've chipped it down, but
oh, okay.
It don't matter.
It's happening.
No eyes needed, Harry. Straight through the smoke. He's got a smoke kit as well. They're scared of ruins. They have no reason to be, and this will buy time for MIBR. Seconds remaining. Henny has a Molotov. I think he's got a lineup, judging by his position. Might not even need it. Can just bounce off the wall. Exit, buying time. He now knows they must be ruins. Both of them together. Smoke on the bomb.
Oh, no.
He's now discounted. There's the tap. No one's sticking yet. Someone needs to get on this thing. And X is trying to get him off. Random shots through. Some connect, but not enough. And a 2v5 turnaround for Grayhound. They stick the defuse in the middle of the site. That one's got to feel good, especially with how the round began.
Dude, that is wild. They had no right to win that one. Inns, such a hero piece to that whole puzzle, right? Over in top mid, double dipping. That's the thing that makes it so crazy. You know, like a lot of guys would have fallen back there, would have looked to, you know, play it a little safer, knowing that the trades are looking to come in. Vexite even got the info that they were still in top mid, and I love how decisive that rotate away was from Vexite. His peak out from long, he knows the influence that that's going to have. He knows the reaction ahead of time to getting that info that MIBR are going to try go back B. And then the thing that was like the cherry on top of all of this was in MIBR's mind, it was fine. The round was safe because they had Henny with a Molotov and a lineup to try and deny that defuse. But the moment that that smoke plumed, you know their hearts were full of dread, Hugo. What a way for this one to have started in the second half. We've got a force back in from MIBR.
Yeah. And hey, it worked for Grayhound for a moment. When they lost pistol, they won the second round on a similar triple Galil buy, but they still went on. MIBR still went on to string rounds together and break it after the fact. B-Smoke is ready to go. Vexite has info. He's not looking into the wall. He has a little pixel in his right. He's trying to manipulate his hitbox so you can't get headshot. Molly's out as well. They're already up and through it. Sico trying to stop the storm, and not a pretty day as the smoke spam comes in as well. 2 kills into this B site. Grayhound, they've come back from harder tasks. However, this one might be out.
Yeah, they're going to try their hand at a bit of smoke spam, right? Hanging around, seeing if anything presents itself. But if they don't get given a reason to go, then they never will attempt it. There's the reason. Alistair gives them that foot in the door. A 2v2. Nearly half the time ticked off this bomb. Exit, holding up close, wants to fight for CT, but now they know where he is. Controls the Galil, wrestles with it. Exit steps up. And MIBR onto double digits. They steal it away with the force, and they put a stop to that 3v5 attempt out of Grayhound. Exit, huge stuff in the 1v2, and we saw timeout called through, right?
Captain's been killing today. They've been putting their teams on their shoulders. Inns is the top performer in the server, the in-game leader for Grayhound, and on the flip side, Exit with a huge clutch to allow that force buy to come through for MIBR. Similar scenario to the first half for Grayhound, and that's a very, very speedy flick back. Nice round out of the guy, and to take down Liaz as well. Someone who we've been talking up. Required attendance to this elimination game. Going cold and quiet right now, but MIBR, joyful finish to that second round, and now it's put Grayhound really on the back foot in terms of money.
Yeah, I do love, you know, that even really before the round had ended, he was like quick at calling in, you know, we're gonna take a timeout here. We're gonna try and like just, you know, have ourselves like mentally reset. This is a very important conversion to find now after winning the force buy. I mean, hell, just ask Grayhound in the first half. You know, they were the ones in MIBR's position right now, and then they fell short. MIBR don't want to let that happen.
And this is so nice as well, just like contacting to B, a couple of smokes maybe. All right, sure, they get smoked off. They don't have to go through, though. They've got so much more util and time. They're getting almost all of the grenades at a Grayhound immediately. There's still 2 smokes left up as one gets retrieved from spawn. Or rather, it's next to Vexite. He has both available to him. He'll use one, he'll grab the other. But right now, MIBR are in no hurry. They leave the bomb back at B, keep the pressure on A, and make Grayhound doubt themselves in this round. Liaz may hear these steps, but that's exactly what MIBR want. They run up top mid, and then they sneak back, hoping that Grayhound make the wrong move. They do not. Not now. Maybe not ever. 3 strong at B, but only a USP for the AWPer.
That re-smoke's problematic.
Yeah, running out of...
That is not what you wanted at all if you're MIBR. And I like this. Alistair.
Why not?
Playing in the smoke.
You could block them.
Gonna try and just slow him down. Gonna try and get this hello. MIBR going back. MIBR don't want to commit to B anymore. They've changed their minds on the fly, so the 3-man setup's gonna get bypassed. Turtle moving in towards B while the rest of the team are hitting this A side of the map. There's very little time left. They're running out with the bomb in their hands. Oh no, it's all gone so wrong. It's gone so badly for MIBR. That is a disaster. They're pushing up the short side with 10 seconds left. The panic, they pull the bomb, they run into that site, and Grayhound cannot believe the round that was just handed to them on a silver platter.
We're seeing so many similarities. It was almost the same round in the first half, right? Remember when in the 1v1 where Henny was hiding pit and he just gets that kill on the apps climbing player and wins the round to time. Right there, Grayhound do the same, dropping the bomb as MIBR did not expect that much resistance in A. My oh my. Very uncertain future in this first map. Boost up, but the Deagle ready to go. Doesn't see him over the top. How does he not see him? Firing deep, but they don't know. Right below sits Breno. With that kill, he's got a gun now. Nade has put him down low at least, and more mollies to follow will at least lock MIBR out of this position, but they've got their loot, and they are running elsewhere. 2 AKs in this round. There's always a chance.
Grayhound have tried to stay ahead of the curve on this one. They've moved away from that double B setup very, very quickly. And as a result, they've kind of supplemented this A side of the map that much more. All their resources in the right place. We need a hero to step up, and Exit's gonna have to be the guy. They're all here, they're all facing him, they're all fighting him, and he can't find success. Grayhound onto a 9th. They win out the Force by Wars, and MIBR, now that reality setting in, they've got to take an eco. I mean, hell, I was crediting them at the end of that force in the second. I said, I love that Bit's called in the pause, right? He's trying to keep everyone calm, knowing the ramifications of, you know, streaking these early rounds together. I think if MIBR had, you know, had kind of won versus the force in the first place, we would be looking at them as like surefire favorites to complete the series, not series, to complete the map rather.
Even if they close that 5v2 on the pistol, they should have been running away with this game. That would have been likely 12-6.
Now, you've had 2 huge opportunities to kind of take ownership of this one, and Grayhound have stolen it away both times.
That's when the pressure hits in as well. Like, you don't want to get in your own head at this point. You're wasting opportunities. You're getting rushed on anti-eco. Grayhound are pumped. They're thick. They're confident right now. And MIBR are full of lead. 10-10. The score equalized. And at one point, this was a pretty dominant game in favor of MIBR on the CT side. No longer.
And I mean, hell, dude, like, Inns has been such a huge part of it. We've kind of missed that firepower component, right? Day one of the tournament was a very dark day for Grayhound. They didn't really have an identifiable star. It felt like a lot of problem pieces, if anything. Right now, Inns bringing his A game.
Ooh. Good grenades onto Vexite. Gonna throw a few more back and then leave Banana for good. Try and anchor the bomb site and just cycle those smokes like we've been seeing. They've got loads of util. Grayhound have not wasted nades out of the gate, and so as MIBR throw executes, Grayhound can go 1-for-1 on them. They can trade every smoke, trade every molly, and still have more left over for later in the round. So this is going to be a big problem. If Grayhound play their cards right, if they don't overcommit to kills here in middle, they can win it on nades and time alone. And look at the damage. They are lighting MIBR up with HE grenades. Alistair tucked in the cubby, might get cleared, but as long as his teammate can either flash or bait for him, this could still be fine. They're going to throw a deep long smoke. Inns needs to assist here, but he's got his eyes on the prize back in apartments. He goes through, they don't know, they don't check, and Alistair holds a shot for as long as he can. Ooh. Still goes in for more, and that will cost him. 45 seconds, MIBR have been given options. That resmoke of B is perfect timing to call guys, walk back to B, we can exec. Little do they know though, there's another molly and another smoke. Sorry, 2 mollies and a smoke on this site still. Timing will be a problem here for MIBR, and they don't have a single flash.
You're running through a molly and a smoke at this point.
They're going to use their smoke for CT, but they might need it for the molly.
This is brutal. There shouldn't be a way back in. Molly goes down. Another one to follow. They're all getting churned up by the fire, but Breno's gone over the top, found Sico, found a route into this one for MIBR. However, that bomb crossing in, just getting the kill in time. Henny has got the plant. A split second, 1 kill in the right place would have made all the difference there. And Henny, at 1 HP, was able to make it across with that bomb intact. Suddenly, it's Grayhound feeling the pressure. This felt written that it was going to belong to them. With Inns dead, that hero figure for Grayhound gone. Liaz is saving, he is out of there. And MIBR, against all odds, are the ones to find victory in this round.
One more bullet would have done it. Henny got put down to a single point of health crossing in. He even had exit in the middle of the bomb site behind that fountain. And whoever it was coming out from the coffin side, I think it was Vexite, couldn't finish the job. One more bullet. And that's just a guaranteed round for Grayhound. What an entry as well for Breno, right? We talked about the impact of that Molotov coming in. 6 seconds as Henny takes down Vexite there. But Breno is the guy to open it up. He climbs on top of Oranges and takes down the quad player. That was the kill to win the round, as much as Henny's was as well. Both of them necessary the second they came through. And if Grayhound won either of those fights, they're in the lead right now. We've got In's highlights here from the game so far. He's had an excellent game, at least for Grayhound. All the smoke spams you could have wanted. And we've had, you know, highlights from other players as well. Clutch from Alistair in the first half. A few bits and bobs. And I'm just very glad that this game is as competitive as we're getting it right now. Right down the middle, Grayhound's map pick. Anubis up next. And even that's a map Grayhound had only fielded once. Ooh, nades are still good for Grayhound, but the flash is better.
That's just such a ballsy play. Flash through, fighting in a Molotov and trying to take control of B, but Sico refuses to let them in. A helping hand from Inns back in spawn, and Grayhound, they come together to repel this B offensive. Starts with a bit of legwork done from Sico. Helped out by Inns, and so now for Henny and Turtle, their backs are against the wall in this one. They really don't have a lot to go off of. They don't know what's happening over to the other side of the map. The only control they've had is Banana. And so if they do want to go back, if they do want to explore other options, they've got to leave themselves with time.
Oh, a bit of self-doubt here, but for good reason. Long's been open for a while, so Inns has to go check that out to assure they're not being flanked. It leaves Sico alone. However, the benefit of Sico here, with 2 smokes for MIBR, I expect to see them throw an execute. If they do, Sico can just wait behind the smoke. He can keep pressure on, he can keep spam on, keep the threat looming, but he doesn't have to play in till the post-plant.
He wants to try and fight ahead of this smoke. Spam either which way, and Sico will just opt out. Now they set up for this retake, as you say.
The damage.
And he found that little safer spot, right? Reduces the spam damage, and so he lives, but only for a moment. Now it all falls to Turtle. Low HP at the back of the site, and it's Sico and Ins who do it all for Grayhound there.
It's crazy how similar some of these rounds have been in both halves, right? Grayhound just did the exact thing that MIBR trumped them with in the first half, right? They get that molly in at the perfect time on Coffins, forcing, if MIBR want to plant with the smokes up, they have to plant oranges or back fountain. They plant oranges, and then the call is made. Yo, swing, Coffin. As soon as his smoke goes down, you've got him trapped. He can't leave this position, forces a player into a 1v3 and dead immediately. So, yeah, just a very similar second half, but a great call for Grayhound to get that molly in at the right time and not using it for the choke point.
Gotta say, if that last round's anything to go by, feels like Breno's got a bit of confidence coursing through his veins, though I'll say that much.
I like the pace change, you know, calling it off of the back of a pause, going for a fast banana play. Screams MIBR are confident. This round tricks up their sleeve, and this round is no exception.
Yeah, he's going to keep the pace high again, right, with the Mac 10. He's going to look to get involved right at the front.
But Grayhound have banana. They know what's going on. They just can't send it too early.
This is a good spot for Liaz. He is open as short, which runs a bit of a risk with only one man holding it from long, but he's already dropped down and now can play a type of crossfire here with Ins over in Graveyard. Here's that banana flank that comes through at the perfect time. Sico has disrupted the flow of this round by dropping the bomb. Cut loose in top mid, and now you're trapped. Everything you're doing is kind of second-guessing yourself here if you're MIBR. You're very paranoid about this mid flank that's on the cards. Exit is trying to uproot it. And now it's left onto Insani, the new kid on the block. 1v2. Alistair facing him with the AWP, takes the fight straight up. He had Liaz there to play trade. Grayhound wanted to try and put a stop to that before it had any legs on it.
Oh, scary to see Vexite go and check out T-Spawn in that round, right? They knew MIBR were going for an apps pop, and while Sico has the bomb in middle, I don't know if he's calling for help or not, but Vexite goes all the way through T-Rap. He changes his mind and even dies to exit, but he could have just kept Sico standing in that entire round. Almost is a problem. But Insani can't find the clutch today. Alistair keeps the pressure on with the AWP, and now MIBR digging deep. Looking through the couch cushions, picking at their pockets. It's pistols. Gives them the freedom to keep running these hyper-aggressive rounds at least, and they will be welcomed into it. Quick long take, Molly behind the smoke, lets them wrap Arch into CT. Exits dead a banana, and now with this Arch site getting taken, they have to go back up.
Oh no!
Easy spray for Ins, 2 kills. Third with a final bullet before Turtle takes him out. And that round is as good as done, you'd like to think. They've surrounded him.
Yeah, he's so boxed in, there's no way out of it. No way out of that for Turtle. And so Grayhound, it feels like they're onto something here, right? Starting to break ahead now, starting to rise above MIBR. Feels like they've started to, you know, really flex this banana control as well over these last couple of rounds, right? That one again, they fully take it. They fully push all the way down. I think if you're MIBR, you've kept a very keen eye on that, right? So I assume they're going to have something to say about it in this one. Util getting lined up for an early banana fight. They want to try and deny this control, but this is where the mind games begin, right? Alistair flexing with a bit of a mid-peak. Sight feeds them at banana. And they weren't feeling like too dismayed about having him fight early, right? They had a triple B set up from the get-go, so they tried to take a bit of a risk. But it has left MIBR a man up.
Yeah, got a bink in though, didn't he? Not enough, however. Grayhound just have to commit with their 2-2 setup, hoping they'll hear a long take if it comes through, more likely than not. And they're going to send it back down banana with another flash. There's nobody fighting here in the open. Breno, that was a chance. The nade could still be an opportunity, but he lives with 6. Steps back just far enough. 2 different guns firing. Oh dear. Again, the smoke spans this game have just been the deciding factor, and Grayhound now have to be forced to make a gamble. Inns doubts it, though. Back to B. And if he committed, it might have been the right call, because it seems like MIBR are walking into this double setup. Alistair with the AWP gets a shot in, drops a molly. Suddenly, he can hold on to this site.
Liaz is leaving, though.
Oh,
Grayhound, they've misread this one. They've started to up and leave this A side of the map, leaving it all on Alistair down in the pit. Now, this guy's got a cool head on his shoulders, but he's about to have a lot of pressure applied. One man seen over towards shore, but there's a lot more where that came from. He's about to get flooded.
Oh,
Every shot counts, and these first two sail past MIBR. Grayhound is saving.
I don't know if that's counter-calling or what, because Inns is rotating out, then he goes back to B, then Alistair falls back before he makes contact on shore, and then Liaz rotates. Like, they're way too active. They need to make it cool and stick with it. We've seen already some of these rounds where it seems like they can't make their decision quick enough, specifically that T-side round where they're in a 2v3 or 2v2, and they go back into A with 5 seconds remaining. Sometimes the calls don't come in quick enough for Grayhound. Something that was mentioned on the desk yesterday, you know, the belief in a wrong call is better sometimes than no confidence in the right call. As long as you're on the same page, as long as you're playing as a unit, that can be enough. I would have loved the three-man setup anywhere, though, in that 3-on-5, just because of the fact that you can save 3 guns if you're wrong, and you can win it if you're right. That's an awkward one to lose for Grayhound. MIBR finally break back into this half after a 3-round drought of rounds. Now only 1 behind, and they win this one. They break the money. That basically puts them in the lead. Final timeout used. Bit's been very proactive with the calls.
Yeah, he has. I mean, you know, he's just really trying to get involved at what he considers these like critical junctions in the game, right? And this is very much one of those rounds. This kind of gets to decide, you know, just how far does this miniature resurgence go, right? At 12-13, Grayhound is still a ways away from winning, and MIBR kind of have that hope coursing through their veins that they're going to get control of this one before it becomes a problem. And they're right at that tipping point now. If they win this, not only do they tie up the game, but they break Grayhound's money. And that sets them up to go on a streak, to start to take this lead, right, and surge towards map point.
Oh, meaty HE grenades. Grayhound save them just for a few seconds later. Beckon MIBR into Banana only to brutalize them. And I love this triple B setup as well. We saw this a lot at Rio. So many teams running this this AWP contact with a flash for re-aggression after the first shot, or just off a feeling. Molly traded with a smoke. And there's that flash even prior to the AWP getting contact. Grayhound hold Banana for 1 more second. At MIBR, they shouldn't be expecting an AWP on this angle. Sico's going to rotate out after using his utility. No flashes left on the B side to play with. MIBR now own top Banana, but 50 seconds on the clock. Do they want to execute?
Insani's trying to sell a bit of an A fake right now. Making some noise over here, and it doesn't even look like it's the fake. Instead, just, you know, establishing this top mid control. MIBR knew they had Banana, so they know they've really cut off the flow of information in this round. Right now, it's like a full reactive setup out of Grayhound. That's kind of even further reinforced with Sico still floating around in CT spawn. Well, here's the exec. It's telegraphed as the flashes go over. Liaz from the balcony needed anything to hold on to the site there with him falling short. And In's dead inside of it. MIBR looking like they're going to run away with the 13th, tying this game up. And as mentioned, coming into this round, perhaps all importantly, breaking those Grayhound bank accounts. I do want to say as well, you know, while we're on the topic of money, MIBR have won both these last rounds super cleanly, right? They are sat real pretty right now on this T side, and so this is where the kind of nature of the game has changed now, and it's MIBR very much in pole position.
Yeah, they threw such good flashbangs in that round. Grayhound could not get a clean fight, and their third player on long side was actually locked out, playing passive, allowing a long wrap. So the whole time Grayhound are not only paranoid of their moto flank, but they don't even have the info, and then as soon as MIBR commit, not even through long, but with great short flashes. Liaz is blind on balcony. Inns couldn't hit that instant headshot. Even if he did, he had an A4. Wouldn't have been the kill. And then he's just chased down around the boxes. Both players missed their shots, and MIBR capitalized to, as you said, another flawless round. 13-13.
And dude, this is where we've got to address the elephant in the room. Insani sat top of the board right now.
Yeah. Had a quiet last few, though. But still, very impactful CT side, really.
I mean, it was crazy. It was him and Henny, like, vying for that control. The rookie and the kind of grizzled veteran.
Oh, talking to rookies, Vexite, dead immediately, and that's a gun lost. No man's land. Stuck in the trenches are Grayhound. And the AWP, not even here either. They pick a pistol. There's still a second. Sico stuck in the site. AWP forces a shot, but that's just a means to an end. That end being saving for Alistair. He doesn't know it yet, but they're about to clear the site out. Easy kill for Insani, and another round locked in for MIBR. Alistair better get out of there, because Liaz certainly is as well. 14-13, MIBR, another 4 alive round. Another, well, not expensive, but profitable round, rather, for MIBR.
It's crazy, dude. Like, just how dominant this streak has been.
They've not been close rounds, certainly.
14 out of a possible 15 surviving players.
Especially
over the last
considering
3.
throughout the rest of the game, we had clutches, we had these 2v2s in pre and post plants. We had lots of very, very close rounds, and that's why CT sides had a bit of trouble in the last few. But MIBR, now they've got the banks to hunt. And 1 kill here is just deafening for Grayhound. There it is. That's literally the kill they needed. Liaz could buy an AWP and drop it over, but it means he doesn't have nades. Unless he gets to drop them back. I still think it's worth it. Oh, he doesn't. He has no armor. No, there's no AWP. There's no AWP in this round unless Alistair glasses.
Something that is... it's like MIBR, ever since they kind of had that timeout with Bit, and you had him weighing in, you really got this idea that they identified the round they had to win that could get them to this position many, many rounds ago, right? And so they're kind of coming at this from the angle of, the belief in the resurgence. This game is still well within their hands. For Grayhound, it kind of feels like over the last few rounds, it's turned to like fear, like you're playing to not lose. You're playing to... without that kind of initiative that they had early on. Think about even some of the gambles that we've seen, the fact that now they're playing a player in CT spawn to have like a slightly faster rotate. These are all good ideas, but with how MIBR are playing in this very grouped 5-man nature, it's leaving the sites a little weak, and they never have that info to react, to play off of, because they are playing it passive. That's where I would normally look to Alistair. Normally I kind of look to him to get involved on this AWP. He's on the CT side. He can try and dictate the pace a little more.
You saw the stress on the player cams just there after he died at the end of the round. He knew the impact that was going to have. He now has an AWP with nothing else. Even more pressure on his person. Inns nearing 30 kills. And on the losing side, Alistair's smoked, flashed, pushed back. The bomb is forgotten. MIBR making a mistake here. They've got to go back for it. It will slow down the commit. Nice molly. Inns peeks right behind it to catch Breno. Do MIBR want to gung-ho into this bomb site? They're still lacking exit. Who is going back for that package? And Alistair's going back for more. Into Insani. The young gun hits the shot, and you could see that face of pain on Alistair. Giving up the kill in the 5-on-4. Further pressure to Grayhound. I love the break pull for MIBR. Yanking that handbrake. Not moving a muscle. Waiting for Grayhound to stew in it before they commit to this A-hit.
the rookie, the new kid of MIBR, just got such an influential kill. If that ends up being the one that tips the scales, that is going to hype them up as they approach the finish line here. A 4v4, but only 2 players in the site to worry about. Liaz, his aim's got to be true, tried and tested. There's the first, back towards long, but Exit gets the better of him. Ins at 30 kills deep is cut down, and MIBR looking like 15 is as good as done. Grayhound, they are saving. They're holding on to these guns. They're giving the round away. Map point on their map pick goes to MIBR.
Honestly, like this might be one of the most painful map losses Grayhound have ever experienced. Like this, the way that this has unraveled in the final 4 or 5 rounds of this map has been painful to watch. And MIBR have played every card right, from hunting AWPs to running fast rounds, 5 grouped, and just trading their way into bomb sites. This has been a phenomenal T-side recovery for MIBR, when it felt like it was slipping through their fingers, and not repetition. Not another kill in the post, no. They won't find Vexite hiding in apartments, but Grayhound will not have a lot going into this last round of reg. Or sorry, last chance to keep it going. They need 2 in a row to make it overtime. Had that reaction 2 rounds in a row. Grayhound need to keep their head on their shoulders. Wow. And again, captains. Ins, 30 kills. Even got that 5v4 as well for Grayhound. But Exit on the other side leads him through with a double long kill.
And I mean, you know, when you just look at the numbers on this one for MIBR early on, as mentioned, it was Henny, it was Insani, like really kind of setting themselves apart from everyone else on the team. But as this has gone on, everyone's come alive. You know, there isn't really a weak player right now when you look down the list. You've had guys like Breno getting super involved in these openers, just constantly being a nuisance and finding 5v4s. You've had Exit delivering in the mid-rounds. It's all starting to come together for Grayhound. It started to feel very one-note. Does Ins multi-kill? Yes, then you have a chance. If he doesn't, it's falling on deaf ears, and now it sailed you all the way into round 29 at a 13-15 2-round deficit. Sico trying to get involved down Banana.
Oh, gets out of time.
Comes through, and there's the openers we talk about. Vexite gets deleted on the flick, and the nade follows up. It's all coming together. MIBR, all that's left to do is finish what they started on this map, a 5v3. And they grind to a complete halt.
What a great call as well to not jump the gun, not waste this opportunity. There's almost no way Grayhound, you know, you can't even play the gamble where you save if you're on the wrong site. You've got to put so much faith in your individuals. Inz has left the other 2 on the A side of things. Alistair has had some harrowing rounds, but he can recover right here, right now. Can't go too wide because then he can't escape after a shot. There's 2 players coming through. They're not in a hurry. 40 seconds. Make up their mind. Smoke short side. And they're going up long.
Ooh, okay, that one's for free. Sometimes the feeling of being up against 15 can be liberating. It gives you nothing to lose.
And right behind you.
Here we are, the wrap through spawn, and they fire off too soon. They've given Grayhound a warning shot. These 2 players have got to hold on. A crossfire set up. That could have been the moment, but Inz is gone. Liaz trying to get away, but Henny gets rid of him. The B site belongs to MIBR. Alistair a long ways away, all the way up through Banana for the retake, but he's got Henny and Exit left to go up against. It's been a rough one for the Aussie AWPer. Can he deliver when they really need him to in the clutch? Exit holding for this, spots him, and it goes both ways. Alistair nails the shot. Just Henny, clash of the AWPers to close. And Henny looking to win this one a time. Looking to get in his head and live there rent-free. Tap on it, Alistair sees him on the jiggle, holds for it, holds the defuse, but Henny peeks out with a second to spare, and just like that, Inferno goes the way of MIBR.
That one has to hurt, man. So many mistakes made in those final few rounds for Grayhound, and Alistair did all he could in the clutch, not enough. Liaz jumping away, everything That's going to be a painful loss for Grayhound. They've got to turn it around, though. We're going to Anubis next. MIBR's pick.